Hey everybody, I'm so glad to meet the management fraternity of this country and several of my friends, colleagues may be listening to me from other countries too, like Ghana, like Abu Dhabi, like Dubai, like USA. I would like to dwell upon the present pandemic, why it is so dangerous, but why we can be comfortable enough by keeping certain things in our control. Let us go through what is happening around. Please see these videos.
Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was in Tel Aviv in 2006 and he was reading the Israeli newspaper. It was the day after a lot of attacks and bombardments and deaths had taken place. The Hamas had struck, but the front page of the newspaper had the picture of a Jewish gentleman who in 5 years had transformed his desert into an orchid and a granary. It was this inspiring picture that everyone woke up. The gory details of killings, bombardments, deaths were inside in the newspaper, buried among other news. In India, we only read about death, sickness, terrorism, crime. Why are we so negative?
India continues to see a surge in coronavirus cases linked to the Nizamuddin Markaz. On Monday, fresh cases were reported.
Workers were there, all people who were chased by this mob. At least 4 of them have been identified. They have been arrested as well. Will there be more arrests? Possibly.
Our media, print media, visual media, WhatsApp, whatever it is giving a negative picture of what is happening around the world in general and in India in particular. As far as our country is concerned, we are in the safe hands, and Honorable Prime Minister Modi and our chief ministers of both the Telugu states are taking enough care. Like it is shown in the picture just now, in the video just now. Not all Markaz people are responsible for spread of COVID. Not every migrant worker is being killed on the tracks. Not every COVID warriors are attacked by people. Not everybody is violating the lockdown. Everything negative is shown. Nothing positive is shown. As a matter of fact, the COVID-19 is very much contained in India compared to other countries, especially the developed countries like USA, Italy, and Spain. We are very much in control. Only day before yesterday, my friend Dr. Srinivasulu Reddy, who is known as Cheese King, very famous in USA, he said, and I quote, our Indian food, Indian systems, Indian culinary art is very much comfortable to resist the COVID onslaught. We are inbuilt immunity. Apart from that, our cultural ethos, our traditions like namaste, like cleaning the hands and cleaning the feet before you enter the home, all these things are inbuilt or in our cultural ethos. So we need not worry much about this as it is shown on the media. And more than anything, the pandemic made us confined to our homes. Just because the coronavirus is such that it is not as dreadful as Spain flu, but at the same time, it is very simple. If you maintain safe distancing and clean your hands and wear a mask, you will be definitely be avoiding the onslaught of the pandemic. our own approach is how we are not able to do it, especially youngsters, why they are feeling bad about it. Think of our Veer Savarkar, who spent years in Kalapani. Think of our own people, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and other freedom fighters who have been confined to jails for several years. Like this, they have taken the thing in positive and they are confined. You cannot imagine how Kalapani looks like. And we are in the comfort of our own homes. And kindly see one more video wherein Sunita Williams has stayed more than 127 days in that space capsule.
So here's one sleep station right here. I'm going in right now. You can follow me if you want. So I'm inside. It's sort of like a little phone booth, but it's pretty comfy. I've got a sleeping bag right here that we sleep in, so we don't have sort of like a little bit of a cover. We don't fly all over the place. But you know, you can sleep in any orientation. I have it feeling like I'm standing up right now, but like you saw, I'm on the floor. But it doesn't matter if I turn over and I sleep upside down. I don't have any sensation in my head that tells me that I'm upside down, so it really doesn't matter. The sleep station is also like a little office. We've got a computer in here. As you can see, you've got a couple little toys. I've got some books. I've got some clothes and other things that make it sort of like home.
Just imagine our position with Sunita Williams. So many days in a congested place like that, about 400 odd miles away from the earth, and for so many days, so confined, so congested. Let us learn lessons from this. And at the same time, your confinement to home, you can make positive out of it. You can learn a new skill. You can learn the kind of how to build your health, build your physique, and how to build your emotional strength, and how to meditate. As I normally abhor mobile phone. If my students are attending this program, they will wonder what this man is doing. Normally, we don't allow mobile phone, especially on Saturdays, but during this, there is no other go except mobile phone and laptop. So they came handy. Like that, it happens, you know. Some things are not avoidable, some things are avoidable. I myself am using iPhone and laptop and PC very much. So don't bother about these things. When the things are changing, you've got to change your approach to life, whereby you can make positive things out of the negative things, prosperity out of adversity. That is my approach. And let us not fear about Corona COVID. Actually, we should be very careful about it. That doesn't mean that we need to be fearful. After all, fear of death is more dangerous than death itself. So let us not fear about it. Let us not go by the naysayers that it is going to kill millions of people, especially with Narendra Modi ji at helm. Hopefully this will end in another couple of months. We'll go back to the normality. 50 years of teaching experience and 25 years as a edupreneur are no great achievements. Actually, somebody said sarcastically about teaching, if you can, you do. If you can't, you teach. And to go further, if you can teach, you teach teachers. Bratakaleka Badipantulu Annatuga, I never opted for teaching, but it happened to me. The moment it happened, I started liking it. The more I liked, the more I got into the groove of teaching, and teaching has become second nature to me. And this 50 years of experience, it doesn't make any difference. Maybe a person who has done a couple of years ago, and he's able to teach well. This this time of 50 years will not count actually. Sinan Reddy garu annattuga rasi kaado ee vasi kavalani. The quality is important, not the quantity of time I spent in teaching. And one thing I have been lucky, though I did my schooling 10+2 in Telugu medium, I was always keen on learning other languages, especially English. That came very handy in my undergraduation as well as post-graduation. And immediately I joined JNTU as a teacher, little proficient in English. I was very comfortable because facing the Jubilee Hills, in those days, Banjara Hills clan, or like modern kind of students, or well-bred students, or elite class of students. They all speak always chaste English. And had I not been into English proficiency, I would have failed. I have seen many of my colleagues who are very good in fundamentals of their subjects, in basics, compared to me, far superior. They have failed as teachers. For a teacher, you have got to be proficient in the medium of instruction. Medium of instruction is naturally English, and you have got to be, and that came handy to me, and I am lucky that way. And the more you teach in English, more you earn. As somebody beautifully said, అనగననగా రాగమతి చెల్లుచునుండు తినగ తినగ వేము తీయనగును సాధనమున పనులు సమకూరు ధరలోన వినరవైభ. అది సాధనం చేస్తుంటే వచ్చేస్తుందండి, ఎవరికైనా అంతే. ఆఫ్టర్ ఆల్, what is language of English language is a very simple language. For example, 56 alphabet in Telugu, many people, even Telugu medium people, don't know. That is a tragedy. And definitely English is easy to learn, easy to speak. The problem with our students is, especially this Andhra and Telangana students, they have got fear psychosis for this language. Unless they go to the dais, unless they converse with people, they will not be able to come out. And this has become a great drawback, especially those coming from the rural Andhra, rural Telangana. They can never speak. They are good at subject, but they can never crack a interview. Unless you are good at English, you cannot score a point in, even the top scorers I have seen, if they are not good in English, they fail, make a mark. So these are the little things that we should be careful. But as a teacher, I always believed in the maxim, I am lucky to be in this profession. I am enjoying it. But at the same time, after 25 years of unsung and unwept service, I'm sorry, I'm saying about JNTU. This is a sarcastic comment, maybe a negative comment, but I have got to tell that for 25 years I served without any reservation. I never missed a single class. I never betrayed my students. I never failed any single student. I have paid the fee of the poor students. I fought for, particular example I am giving, I made 16 applications to the university to make a special restroom for girls. I have miserably failed. And as far as educational reforms are concerned, the subjects that are required by the corporate are concerned, if you make an application to the academic council, by the time it is approved, it is taking 2 years. By then, the subject I have proposed to be introduced in MBA curriculum or management curriculum is getting obsolete. So all these things made me kind of disenchanted with my kind of service at JNTU, and I resigned about 8 years before my superannuation, and I established this college. And when I established this college, not that I am a moneyed fellow, I have sold all my ancestral property, I have built it, and luckily for me as a teacher, whatever goodwill I have earned, that brought me so many students year after year to join Dhruva, and Dhruva is doing so well, and I am happy that I have got wonderful colleagues, who are able to teach so well with comparatively low pay scales. And my students are also very much disciplined. As far as our culture is concerned, we go by 4 Ds: diligence, dignity, dhyana, and dharma. These are the 4 cardinal principles which are sustaining our Dhruva. And if anybody, any corporate leader, any industry, any organization, they can easily recognize Dhruva product. They are always disciplined. They don't mind about working extra times, and they don't indulge in nonsense. And as far as the ethos are concerned, they go by the traditional approach. And that is the reason, of course, there is what is known as a Dhruva Forum, Access Hyderabad Indian Management Systems Academy, which we are trying to bring in, or usher in Indian management wisdom, which is very much there, very much deeper, like in Mahabharata, Ramayana, Bhagavatam, and Chanakya Niti, and so many other things. We have such a rich culture and motivation. Nothing beats our Bhagavad Gita. And what is Abraham Maslow? He always looks out for satiation of the desires. I'm just giving an example. Please bear with me. Abraham Maslow takes the hierarchy of needs, and they're always outward looking. And somebody beautifully said, with all my desires, I accumulated the material things, and with all the material things, I languish in desires. And desires can never be satiated. And more so, they are not hierarchical. IIM Ahmedabad has done a research, they are not hierarchical at all. They are circulatory. And you can never satisfy the desires. But as far as Indian lore is concerned, Indian ethos are concerned, we have our own approach to satiation. That is Vipashyanti. Even Mahatma Buddha approach to Vipashyanti, looking inwards. That is akin to Panchakosha. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya. Ananda is, after all, the self-actualization of Maslow is a pale synonym of Anandamaya, Ananda. Ananda is eternal. Ananda is deep within yourself. That is how we always tell, Tat Swamati, we are not this. We are not this mind-body complex. We are whatever we are, that God is within me and God is within others. That's how we believe in Vasudaika Kutumbakam, and we always believe in this helping others, giving to others. Same thing is practiced by our government of India in helping a country like USA. So we always look forward to this, and probably in coming decades, we'll see Swarna Bharat if this approach of governance continues. Let me narrate, let me recite a small poem I've written. Many of our audience may be Telugu knowing. Others, please bear with me. Corona vaddu, lockoute muddu, shake hand vaddu, namaste muddu, muddulu vaddu, haddulu muddu, తగ్గించు టీవీ ధ్యానంతోనే టీవీ స్కర్ట్ జీన్స్ వద్దు లంగా ఓని ముద్దు ఆవలింత వద్దు కొంగు అడ్డం ముద్దు తిరుమల వద్దు మన పూజ గది మాత్రమే ముద్దు మస్జిద్ వద్దు జకత్ ముద్దు దగ్గు తుమ్ము ఓకే మగర్ జరా సరక్కే దోస్తానా ఓకే कहीं दिखे तो हटके आलिंगनम वद्दु 6 అడుగుల దూరం ముద్దు గబ్బిలపు అన్నం వద్దు మన పప్పన్నం ముద్దు మల్టీప్లెక్స్ వద్దు నెట్ఫ్లిక్స్ ముద్దు వెబినార్లు ముద్దు సెమినార్లు వద్దు. And with this I take you to the question you have raised. It is inescapable. The online teaching that we are adopting, there is no other go. Like somebody beautifully said, the inventory is a necessary evil. Actually, just-in-time approach to manufacturing is the best. Inventory is a necessary evil. The same way, the online teaching However, good or bad, I am not here to debate on that. But it is the only available thing that we can approach the students, approach the teaching learning process, or what you call reach our students. Several key benefits are there on learning virtually. There is increased flexibility, less costly. Of course, there is no ragging, there is no affairs, and there is flexi time, anytime, anywhere, and you can learn at your own pace and speed, break the geographical barriers. You can learn practical, technical skills because you are bound to use technology in understanding the things online. And this tech savvy, while you are forced to learn this, may be helpful tomorrow while you are applying for a job. It increases your employability skills. And like that, there are so many advantages. But again, as a traditional teacher, as a person of 76 years going on to 77, I believe in tradition, I believe in simplicity. I believe in on-campus teaching only, offline teaching only. Maybe people don't agree. Once it comes to normality, we should get back to on-campus teaching. The advantage of on-campus teaching I'm going to narrate. We will be more organized, there will be more discipline, and we can introduce industry-specific subjects, and there will be eye contact, please. Very important, there is eye contact. Whereas in online teaching, you see the students as dots on the screen. Here you can see the wonderful students. The students, I teach my students as my children. I can look into these eyes. They can look others also in a wonderful way. And more than anything, there is Guru Shishya bonding. There is no bonding there in online teaching. And there is more than anything real-time feel. If you permit me to say, I will tell you, online teaching versus on-campus teaching, like online chatting versus real-time dating. And it enriches the teacher. It enriches a teacher if we can really be interested in deeper understanding of the nuances of the teaching, and it gives you cumulative experience, and it gives you limitless opportunities to bond with the students and their excitements and their boredoms. All these things are quite beneficial in on-campus teaching. And Zooming online is a medium we are now ensconced with, but not a teaching learning process perpetually. Etiquette of classroom teaching instills qualities like determination, focus, bonhomie, networking, peer interaction, intercultural communication, skills, debating, public speaking. All these things are possible in on-campus teaching, not in online teaching. More valuable than all the things said, the curriculum-driven skills and easy for evaluation on-campus teaching, and no scope for lethargy, no scope for bypassing the instruction. And more than anything, it is natural. It is natural. And I'll give an example how it is natural. I'll cite an example where in a Gurukul system, the prince, the son of the reigning king, was sent to Gurukul to learn at the hands of the Guru. In the Gurukul scenario, the student, however big or small, Raja and Rank will go and stay with the Guru. He was with the Guru, and Guru asked the Shishya, that the prince, go into the woods, the forest, and come back after 1 year and tell me what did you hear. He comes back and reports to the teacher, sir, I could hear the cuckoos sing, birds chirp, water guzzle, leaves rustle, all these things I could hear. Then teacher tells another one sentence, my dear son, go back deeper into the forest, this time you stay more and come back and tell me what did you hear. This time the prince goes back into the woods or forest and comes back and reports. Now teacher asks, what did you hear this time? Please listen to me, Narayana Reddy Garu, carefully. The student reports, sir, this time I could hear and heard. I could hear the sound of sun warming the earth, sound of the sun warming the earth, sound of flowers opening, sound of the the grass drinking the morning dew. How can it happen in online teaching? Unless you are near the nature, unless you are part of the system, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you cannot have this kind of feel. And then teacher is so happy. Now that you are able to hear the unheard, you can be a better leader, better manager, better king, because you can hear the difficulties unspoken of, complexities unheard of, and you can feel the nerve of the population, your praja, and you can be a great leader, great manager, great king. That's how I am a votary of teaching on campus and Guru Shishya's Sambandha. Beautiful question, sir. Many people ask me, actually the reverse question. They ask me whether on-campus teaching will come back or we are going to be stuffed with online teaching perpetually. And again, I am reminded of an anecdote. It happened in 1944-45 when Churchill was the Prime Minister of England. And around 2 o'clock in the morning, he was tensed up and he was walking, strolling in the corridor, the heavy person with a cigar in his mouth. And the town's clerk, a blonde, pretty girl, and she acquired courage and said, sire. He didn't listen to her. Next time she said, sire. Churchill never bothered. This time she made it as loud as possible, sire. Oh, he turned around and said, oh, young lady, you got anything to say? Yes, sire. Now she asks Churchill, what is bothering you, sir? And Churchill tells very interesting statement. I am bothered about this country. Ravi Astaminchani Samrajyam. After I am gone, of course we are winning this Second World War, but after I am gone, what is going to happen to this great country? You know, the clerk, the blonde little girl tells very, very deeper statement she makes. Sir, please forgive me if I make this statement. Prime ministers come, prime ministers go, but this town's clerk will remain same. The pandemics come, pandemics go. Online teaching comes, online teaching goes. But on-campus teaching will remain. Guru's importance will be there, and the teacher will be respected, and no education will be complete with the teacher's physical involvement and mental involvement, emotional involvement, spiritual involvement, and teacher is going to be there. Permit me to say, scrap all regulatory agencies. Scrap all regulatory agencies. They're all stuffed with corruption. I'm telling you, including AIU, including UGC, including AICTE. I don't know about Sahasrabuddhe, but I never happened to visit AICTE office in Delhi except once when I applied for this. But thanks to Keith Jayapal Reddy Garu, who believed in justice, fair play and dharma, he never bothered me to go to Delhi to wait at the doors of the powers that be. What is the regulatory system doing? I say, tell me, sir, in 25 years, what they have done? Nothing. Nothing they have done. I'm coming to the point, sir. Now, for example, I am like a MSME. I am like a startup. I am like a kirana shop. In comparison to big malls and big metros, D-Mart, K-Mart, Walmart, who am I? After all, I am a kirana owner. Tier 2 college run by a teacher. How can I compete with these big wigs? How can you compare? How can these rating agencies put me on par with these big wigs? The big wigs are promoted by industrialists, politicians, powers that be. In what way a standalone college like mine can compete with this? I'm not asking for charity. I'm not asking for any concessions, but I'm asking only that there must be kind of normalization while the rate. Please don't bring in rating system. मैं तो थक गया sir. मैं तो थक गया. I don't believe in that, and days will come. I don't know. I'm hoping in my lifetime there will be kind of normalization, and unless the rating agencies, unless the regulatory bodies are really ridden with honest people and the systems are in place, there is no scope for the growth of small players like Dhruva College. We are doing good. We are definitely doing good, but we can do better and better. And compared to my colleagues, those are next to none. Compared to infrastructure, they are next only to ISB in Hyderabad. Compared to the systems, compared to the culture, compared to the ethos, compared to the discipline, compared to the teaching learning process. Why go that far, sir? Business world has rated our kitchen as the best in South India. Best in South India. These kind of things are there, but who is there? Who is there? After in the last 12 years, I have built this magnum opus in this 800-acre forest. No regulatory agency. Your AAC never visited. When I was operating in ramshackle building in the old city, they used to visit every 6 months. When I am well off, when I am comfortable, when I am really competitive, nobody is visiting. I don't know. What is this? I'm faced with this kind of discomfiture. I'm sorry, sir. I'm not into this regulatory bodies. Actually, I don't want to be regulated as well. That is the reason I resigned from JNTU and I came on my own. Because I don't want to be regulated, sir. I don't want to be regulated. My regulators are only my students. Please mark my language. My regulators are my students. They are there spread over the world, and whatever they feel like, whatever the estimate of their alma mater, that is the yardstick with which I live, with which I try to proceed further.
Yes, sir. What is the redefined role of a teacher in the post-COVID environment?
A teacher is a teacher is a teacher. Yada chittam tada vacha, yada vachas tada kriya. What is there in mind should be spoken. What is spoken should be implemented. A teacher has got to be a preacher. Teacher has got to be a father. Teacher has got to be a mentor. Teacher has got to be a leader. Teacher has got to be a pleader. Teacher has got to be everything, a capsule into one. And then only he can earn the goodwill, love of the students. After all, teaching is a wonderful phenomenon. Had there been no teaching profession, there wouldn't have been any other profession, sir. The teacher has teacher will be there, and without teacher, the world will not exist. And this COVID is going to end. Just see a second. What do you call Narendra Modi's statement? Kindly listen to the audience, please.
Yeah, please proceed.
हर हिंदुस्तानी इस संकट का न सिर्फ सफलता से मुकाबला करेगा, बल्कि इस मुश्किल घड़ी से विजयी होकर निकलेगा.
That is my gut feeling, sir. I'm a great fan of Narendra Modi. it will definitely end sooner than later. And we are going to see our students on campus in their flesh and blood, and we'll go back to the roots, and we don't be quagmired by this online teaching. And let us go back to I joke, not online teaching, but offline teaching. One thing very important, sir. Teacher has to think himself as an eternal student. There is no end to learning, sir. The moment you think you know, it is tantamount that you don't know. Benjamin Disraeli says, to know that you don't know is a great step in knowledge. There is no limit to acquisition of knowledge. And the knowledge is getting obsolete in few years' time, few months' time. Especially in IT field, it is getting obsolete in days, weeks. So teacher has got to be on toes. He has to upgrade his knowledge, and he has to deal with the changing times. But as far as Dhruva is concerned, they have to maintain the hierarchism. A teacher is a teacher. A student has got to be a mentee, like a son, like a daughter. He has got to respect the elders. Students cannot play with me. I am very friendly. I am very dear to them. They are dear to me. But at the same time, the hierarchism must be followed, especially in this country. I am not a chairman, but I am Chaukidar also. The Chaukidar and chairman in this college eat together.
Yeah,
Two times tea and 3 times meal. We always eat together. There is no discrimination. I am a Chaukidar and I am a chairman also, if you please to call me like that. I don't subscribe to that idea, sir. It will never happen. It is only a stopgap arrangement. People are thinking that online teaching is going to stay forever. No. And more than anything, India is going to be a forerunner. It is going to be a Swarna Bharat. And people are going to look up to India and make in India flower. And majority of the MNCs will kind of close shop in China and come to India. When the industries grow manifold, when the employment opportunities grow manifold, there will be students even from abroad to study in India. Please, there is Takshashila and Nalanda going to happen in this country. Not in near future, but at least in 10-20 years, which I am not going to see. But I can visualize this country has a wonderful future, and no teacher should fear that he will be retrenched. It is 100% not for profit making, because I've invested about 30 crores 13 years ago. It is a sunk cost. Sunk means it is buried cost. So I can never, that 30 crores will be never paid back. But whatever the operational cost, I am trying to break even. And luckily for me, I am able to break even operational cost. That is a beautiful question. Whosoever is asking, that is a beautiful question, sir. Nowadays, this summer internship project or whatever the internship they are doing, it has become a mockery. It has become a mockery, sir. We are at the receiving end. The institutions are at the receiving end. And the recruiters or the industry or the corporates are at the giving end. We are at their mercy. The students have got to behave, have got to work like their own employees. They have to slog. They have to do better than the regular employee, because it is a kind of living in relationship, please. In living in relationship, you have got to be doubly careful to impress upon the partner, future partner.
Yeah.
If you don't behave, you will be thrown out. You will not get married. If you behave well through internship period, you will be liked and you will be able to tie the knot. That is getting the job. Replacement offer you get. Unless you do well, unless you behave well, unless you work hard, unless you really listen to the problem solution given by your functional manager in consonance with your management faculty, you have got to work hard. You have got to live up to the expectations of the industry guide, and you have got to do it, sir. There is no other way. You cannot be lackadaisical. You have got to prove your worth. Not only you will bring laurels to yourself, you will get replacement offer, you will earn, you will get the institution, Dhruva College of Management for that matter, a goodwill from the industry. And the problem with the today's millennials is, Nandi Garu, Their
Yes, yes.
parents are also millennials.
Yeah.
They don't know how to parent. The parenting is gone. Parenting is gone, sir. There is no discipline at home.
Yes, yes.
ఇంట గెలిచి రచ్చ
Yes.
గెలవాల అక్కడ లేదు. అక్కడ
Yeah.
డిసిప్లిన్ లేదు, ఇక్కడ డిసిప్లిన్
Mm.
ఎక్కడ వచ్చింది సార్? It is impossible. That's what I am facing here. We are Dhruva is a kind of island of excellence. There are systems, there are regimens, there is discipline, everything. But once you cross the portals of Dhruva campus, everything is free.
Yeah.
There is a dichotomy that they are not able to adjust unless the environment in which they are living, unless the house, the home they are living, unless there are systems available, unless the government is really working, things will not happen. That is a beautiful question. I have no
Yeah.
answer to that, sir. I
Yeah.
have no answer to that.
Yes, yes. Yeah, another
God save-
another small question is that commitment, honesty, and loyalty will be rewarded even in future also. So it is an observation. It's not a question, but it's an observation.
They are perennial things, sir. They are perennial. All the three things the questioner observed, they are fundamentals. They will be respected, they will be revered, and they will stand a teacher in good stead as a human being. After all, what is said, there is a beautiful saying. मैं आदमी हूं मगर इंसान बनने की कोशिश में हूं. मैं आदमी हूं मगर इंसान बनने की कोशिश में हूं. वो जो three facets or the parameters he said, they are the virtues of an insan. There is nothing like being a human being, a man. I born as a man, I grown up as a man, I lived as a man, and die as a man. इंसान कब बनोगे भाई? इंसान बन के दिखाओ. इंसानियत की चीजें हैं जो तीन वर्च्यूज उन्हें बोले हैं, वो इंसानियत के what do you call parameters है. Beautiful things.
Yeah.
I have been a teacher in university. I am a teacher here also. I take at least 2 subjects every semester. I am a teacher. I live as a teacher. I will die as a teacher. I have nothing as chairman, sir. In this college also, I am the head of the family. I am the senior most faculty member. I am a teacher. I
Yes.
love teaching. Till my end,
Yeah.
I would love to teach. Even compared to my faculty colleagues, I take the same burden. I take about 12 to 13 hours of weekly teaching load. I really love teaching. Without teaching, I cannot survive. There is no chairman Giri, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much.